Welcome back, guys, to AZ Sports Roundup. I am one of your hosts, JT Hill, and we got Quinn over there. And today, going through a little bit of what ASU did the past week and looking to their future opponent. Let's set to the intro. Let's just go ahead and go to my Quinn Hatter's reactions to the NAU game. I'm going to give you guys what I think, and then we're going to go to the Mississippi State game, break it down. Probably won't talk about the Cardinals now. There's not really room for the Cardinals, the D-backs, or the Suns. I'm sorry, guys. We're just massive ASU fans and massive college football fans. College football is just the best sport alive. Let's go to NAU. For me, Quinn, you don't have to talk. You can give your opinions, but go watch that video because he gives his opinions on what really went down. For me, it's going to be the penalties, and I'm really hoping that Kenny Dillingham absolutely ran the crap out of his players for all the penalties. I'm assuming he did, and I'm hoping that it kind of got to him because that shows weakness. That shows that you're weak in the mental discipline, and that scares me as an ASU fan. They should definitely work on that, and I think they're going to be a lot better at Mississippi State, but they're also going to have Cowbells they're going to have to beat the Cowbells, and they're definitely going to have to be better mentally. Physically, they're at the top of the chart. Mentally, they're not there yet, and it's week one. You're getting back into the season. It's 100 degrees out. It's a lot of just stuff going on in week one. So I'm going to give them grace for this 1 week. But I still hope that Kenny Dillingham ran the crap out of them because that's what happens to me whenever I mess up. Not always, but whenever I'm in baseball, you got to run a lot. And that's what I'm expecting them to do. And hopefully they learn from their mistakes, their mental mistakes, and they can get better. But that's really my only critique. Sam Leavitt, wish that he does not have it. I wish that he did not have that interception because that just goes bad on his record, but it's fine. I was a little bit frustrated. My number one complaint of the game is ESPN because I paid $10 to watch one game, and that $10 basically just went to waste. But it's for ASU. By the way, speaking of ASU and money, please, I said this a while ago. Feel free to go donate to the Sun Angel Collective. That is kind of like in church, like you give your tithes, and I'm not saying that's what you should do for your church, but I'm saying if you got a little extra cash, you get a couple tips at your job, be like, you know what, let me go spend some money on ASU. We live in a world now where football players get paid at the college level, which is crazy, but go support your dog, Sam Leavitt, and all the other players, like Jordan Tyson, like Ghost Rouser, like Keyshawn Elliott. But getting back to the stuff, let's go on to Mississippi State. This is a game that I'm scared of. I'll be real with you. Not because of how good Mississippi State fans are, but because of how annoying and scary the Mississippi State fans are going to be. There's a lot of controversy, and let me just go. I'm not going to give you the whole gist, but I guess Kenny Dillingham kind of knocked on the small kind of town that Starksville is and how far hotels are and how finicky his eaters are. And not a direct knock to Mississippi State, but just kind of giving a comment on what players like to do and what they like to eat and how annoying it can be to have to accommodate for all those things. Not annoying, but how they have to accommodate for those things. And it's hard in a place like where Mississippi State is. And Mississippi State fans completely ran away with that and went like, oh my gosh, what is happening? He is being so disrespectful. I don't live in Mississippi, so I don't know what it's like down there. I think they're just mad that they're kind of trash in the SEC, and they kind of got dog crapped on by ASU last season. They definitely came back, but Mississippi State fans do not have a lot to be proud of. being in the SEC and kind of getting crapped on all season last year. And they're trying to get some upside, so they're trying to get some fuel to their fire. You'll hear that thing a lot more later on. But they're trying to get some fuel to their fire and kind of just try and get anything they can to use it as energy against ASU, which I like that. I like that. Kind of using the Kenny Dillingham mentality there. But, yeah, that's all I'm really scared about. They already used cowbells in the practice. ASU workers were doing that during practice. They were literally ringing cowbells, which is crazy. But that's my take on the game. I don't know much about Mississippi State players. I'm not trying to disrespect you Mississippi State fans, but let's be real. You guys are kind of in an ASU situation right now where you got no hope. And maybe they pull off a crazy season. They go 12-0. They go 10-2. But they're in kind of an ASU situation, and now you Mississippi State fans know how ASU fans had to have it, where they're just inconsistent, trash. Oh, wait, we got a good season. That could be Mississippi State, but, yeah, they're in a tough place right now.
Yeah, I feel like some Mississippi State fans going to come and watch this and, like, clip one of us saying something negative about Mississippi State and then, like, say, oh, you guys need to be ready for this. I'm trying to keep it positive here. Going off of what Kenny Dillingham said, he said something about his players are staying an hour and a half away from Starkville because there are no hotels there without casinos. I'm pretty sure that's just a flat out lie. If you go to any, like, no matter how small of a city, there's gonna be a Holiday Inn or a Comfort Inn or something like that. I think I was listening to a podcast and they kind of explained what they thought, and I think this made a lot of sense. Most teams, there's a visiting hotel where almost always the visiting team goes there and stays the night, and they just didn't want the fans to be toxic and they just wanted to avoid all of the whatever negativity
all the cowbells,
could be
all
there.
The cowbells.
Yeah, and I think that's a good approach. Just kind of staying an hour and a half away. Just take your mind off of the pressure, and just go in there saying, let's just play football. Knowing there's a lot of pressure, but putting that behind them and playing their best football. I think that Mississippi State fans are taking it a little too personally, and they're just desperate. They're just trying to get whatever they can take. I saw there was this one. I think it was a writer for Mississippi State. My dad sent this to me. I could be wrong. Just some Mississippi State fan, something. They tweeted saying, "Let's take this momentum from Kenny Dillingham. Get the cowbells rolling. Let's show everyone why Sam Leavitt is a fraud, and that we're gonna beat ASU."
Hold up.
Laughing.
Who's Mississippi State's quarterback, real quick? I'm just curious. Who is it?
Blake Shapen.
Okay, is he like a transfer from FCS or what is he? Because
he used to play for Baylor. He's not horrible.
You don't be talking about my Sam Leavitt boy. Okay, that sounds so weird. You don't be talking about my boy. Okay, you don't be talking about my dog Sam Leavitt, bro. That disrespectful, bro. You don't watch college football if you're saying that. You did not watch ASU last season if you're saying that, which a lot of people didn't, and that's just true. A lot of people did not see ASU winning the Big 12 championship, and that's just reality, and a lot of people still don't believe in Kenny Dillingham. And it's kind of crazy. I'm getting tired of it, and I kind of just give people the same answer. You don't believe. Here's my level of belief in Kenny Dillingham. You are either a hater, you are just a fan of college football, and you're not biased, or you're going to be honest, or you're a believer in Kenny Dillingham. Okay, the bias part did not make a lot of sense, but you're either a believer or you're a hater. And there can be stuff in the middle, where you don't believe that ASU is going to win at all. But whenever you're constantly just trying to find anything to pick at the Sun Devils, you're in the hater section. And I've seen there's a lot more haters now for ASU and for all the ASU fans than there has been, because ASU has a target on their backs. They literally are saying, kick me. They're putting a target on their back and literally just saying, kick me if you can. That's a scary thing because ASU has not had a lot of pressure like that. I feel like since the Jaden Daniels stuff, but like that wasn't even a ton of pressure. They're under immense pressure right now, and a lot of the players are. They've never done this. And that is why we are making the unofficial ASU motto for the season, fuel to fire. I'm
That should
not
be our
trying to
documentary title.
I'm not trying to get copyrighted by ASU because they did make this in a video. It was really sick. I'm kind of just piggybacking. Wow, I can't say that. Piggybacking on that. I feel like that should be ASU's motto because they were underdogs last season. Now they're not, and you just got to add fuel to the fire. That's just what I'm gonna say. A lot now. Add fuel to the fire. That's any hate. It's fuel to the fire. Any disrespect, fuel to the fire. Any Mississippi State fans, fuel to the fire. All that stuff, fuel to the fire. Sorry guys, I'm just hyped. It's football season. It was actually a cold day today while I was practicing. I'm getting hype, but fuel to fire. It's kind of clean if I'm being honest. Quinn, what are your thoughts?
I'll get into the actual football stuff later, but the one thing that ASU needs to do is they need to prepare. They need to be ready. Me, as a fan, coming into the NAU game, I think we did a 5-minute preview and then piggyback that onto a different episode. I couldn't name you a single NAU player coming into the season. I was like, oh, well, they're good in the FCS, but we should beat them by 50. We're not going to have any concerns about this game. I feel like the players kind of came in with that same mentality that they're just going to go in and destroy NAU. And Kenny Dillingham, he will take the blame because I remember he said in a press conference that NAU just straight out outcoached them. They had more heart, they had more passion than ASU did. And that's because I just don't think that they were ready. They're like kind of like what us as fans were like, yes, football, let's just put on some highlights, see what that happens instead of let's just go and beat NAU. And I think that all changes because they're going to play Mississippi State. Mississippi State is, like we've said, their fans are fired up, just looking for anything to get these fans
add fuel
more
to
hyped.
their fire. Add fuel to their fire. They're little fire.
Yeah. Kenny Dillingham knows this. They know that they're going to have cowbells and they're going to be rocking and this place is going to be loud. They know what these players, they know the players' names, they know how to strategize for them, and they have been preparing. Like JT said, they've been playing cowbells. They have these workers with cowbells in the players' faces the entire
MVPs.
time. Yeah, they were just the entire practice, and then they went inside, they had a speaker, and they were playing noise, like crowd noise, stock footage or something, really loudly to try and distract the players, and it's not working. The players are still having practices, playing discipline. Kenny Dillingham said in a press conference about after the first practice since the game that they had live refs and there were no penalties called. ASU's going to be ready for this game, and Mississippi State, you gotta watch out because we're getting full energy from Kenny Dillingham, full energy from Xavier Alford, Jordan Crook, Sam Levitt, I already said Xavier Alford, Ghost Rouser, Jordan Tyson. Everyone's going to be ready and locked in to beat Mississippi State, and that's why I ultimately think that ASU should win this game.
Yeah, I just put on the ASU helmet. ASU, man, this thing's fire. Just made this. But getting back to business. Whew, just got a little bit hyped up right there. It's college football season, baby. So the cowbell stuff, that kind of just like Kenny Dillingham is definitely a smart guy, and that just shows you the type of coach that he is. He's willing to go to the extremes to prepare his team, and I think that's when you know that you have a really good coach. I mean, I know that we have a really good coach since we made it all the way last year, but this is ASU has to learn to repeat. That is a word that you are going to hear over and 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 over again if you're an ASU fan. By us, by Arizona Sports, the radio, by Devil's Digest, by all of the stuff, and by all the national media, by ESPN, by Josh Pate, repeat. And a big success to that repeat is going to be playing the teams that you played last year. Two of the same teams in their non-conference schedule from last year, they're playing again. Just flip-flopped the locations. It's the same team. Maybe a couple of different players. It's the same college that they are playing, and that I can't stress enough how crazy that is to me, because you're literally repeating last year. Sure, you lost a couple players, but if you want to learn how to repeat, you got to beat the teams 2 years in a row. And that, I think, is just such a cool thing about ASU season, is that they get a chance to repeat in not only the Big 12 championship, but repeating against these teams that they beat and showing their dominance against them. That is just a really cool thing, and how that lines up is really cool.
Yeah, so enough about talking. Let's get to actual football. I'm just going to preview the quarterback matchup. Of course, we have Sam Levitt. He had a very good game. Outside of the pick, there was really nothing we can really nitpick about. I think Blake Shapen for Mississippi State, he's a good quarterback. I think he had a good game against ASU last year. He's been battling injuries his entire career, but if he can stay healthy, I think that he's going to have a good game. He's more of a game manager, or a pocket passer, if you will. That doesn't mean you're a bad quarterback. He's not going to win the game, but he's for sure not going to lose you the game. Mississippi State is going to be just fine at quarterback. And running back, this is where I want to get into it. ASU, I think they only ran the ball 14 times, excluding quarterback runs.
Mm-hmm.
Their running backs only got 14 carries. Kenny Dillingham said that they weren't holding anything back against ASU, and I undoubtedly believe that they were. They're going to run the ball a lot. I look at Mississippi State's defensive line. They were one of the worst in the country, by far the worst in the SEC. They went out, got a bunch of transfers. We don't know how they're going to look yet. I think we are going to pound the rock. Kyson Brown and Raleek Brown, they had great games running the ball with as limited carries that they did. They're going to get a heavy workload. I'm thinking combined 20, 25, maybe even 30 carries, which is a lot, but I think that we can do it. And on the other side of the ball, Mississippi State's running backs are probably the best part of their team. They bring back Devon Booth, who I really liked. He was one of the most underrated running backs in the SEC. And they also go out and get Fluff Bothwell, who has a pretty cool name. And he is really good. He's electric, speedy, physical. He might be a problem. And I think whoever's going to run the ball better will win the game. Whoever's run defense is worse will lose the game. I think ASU's run defense against NAU was very good. We're going to face a higher level of competition. That doesn't mean that we can't, because I think that our defensive line, as much as we didn't get to the quarterback, we stopped the run, and I think that matters a lot more than people think. So if we can stop Booth and Bothwell, I think that we're going to have a good game.
Yeah, my only key to ASU, I mean, I got a bunch, but I think I definitely want to see more of the run game this game. Jordan Tyson had a game last game. Did he have over 100 receiving yards? I think he did, right?
I think he had something like 125, I think.
Yeah, and 2 touchdowns, right? I'm 2 tutties,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just combined it, he already had a better game than both Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith. It's week 1. I'm not saying he's going to win the Heisman. I'm not saying he's going to win whatever the Bolitnikoff award is. Sorry, I don't know that. But he definitely showed, I was definitely nervous going into the season. I was like, is he going to be able to do what he did last year? Could he have just been kind of a one-hit wonder? And seeing what he did proved to me why he is not one of those. And he definitely grinded in the offseason. You can just tell. He wants to make it to the NFL. And when that's your goal, you are going to grind, not just for yourself, but for your team. And I really like what he's doing. I think another key is other big key is not. I want to see how they can do with all the flags. My goal for ASU, if any ASU players are watching this, maybe Kenny Dillingham watching this, probably not. But my goal is for ASU to get under 5 penalties for the entire game. That's a tough task, but I think they can do it, and that's just my goal for ASU. Now, I don't know if they're going to be able to do that, but that would be awesome if they could.
Yeah, I think just limiting the penalties, that's probably the biggest thing. There were a lot of questionable calls, but they were still calls that you could understand why they were called. We just need to be better disciplined for this game. And there were a lot of holding calls, a lot of personal fouls that just didn't need to happen. And I'm not just saying this, so we still need to be physical, but we just don't need to do anything after the play, anything too bad. There's a word for it, I'm just blanking right now. Just limit the penalties. And the last thing I want to talk about is the receiving matchups. We know what Jordan Tyson can do. We don't really have seen, or at least seen proven talent anywhere else on the receiving room. I don't know if this is for sure, but I'm almost positive Jalen Moss will be out for this game, which is a huge blow, which means Malik McClain and Jalen Moss are going to have to step up. I think they had Malik McClain, he had that one big 70-yard catch, but it did get called back. He had a few penalties blocking on the perimeter. I think he's going to have a huge game. Malik McClain has that big play upside that I just don't think that other teams are going to be ready for. He's going to have a good game. Jaron Hamilton, this probably surprised me the most. He only had one snap the entire game. That should increase, hopefully, because I think he is a great player. Also, sort of that Malik McClain deep threat, big play kind of guy. And our tight ends, I think we only had one catch from that position. It was one catch by Shimon Mateer. Kenny Dillingham, he said that he'd go 12, 13, maybe even 14 personnel. We saw that. I saw a lot of both Shimon Mateer and Cameron Hartpool, both Kamari Anderson. I really hope AJ Ia gets on the field. I think he's a great player. I really like him. I think the tight end is our X factor. Look at the other team. They don't have a true wide receiver one, Jordan Tyson, Jeremiah Smith kind of guy, but all three of them, Brennan Thompson and Anthony Evans and Jordan Mosley, they're fast and they will beat you in zone coverage, and that's what I'm worried for, because our zone coverage, I've said this a lot, it is so soft and it annoys me so much, just letting the chunk 10, 15, 20 yard plays get right in the middle of our zone defense. We need to be intense on defense, and I'm talking about the safeties and corners. We do good in coverage. We have good players. We just need to be locked in and ready to cover the zones. Don't allow the soft zone coverage to happen again. Ultimately, I think don't allow soft zone coverage, and then someone other than Jordan Tyson needs to step up in the receiving game, which I do think that we can do. I think we have the talent to do so.
Yeah. That's going to wrap it up for today's podcast. We're going to be separating this video into two. So for this video, you guys will be thinking it's just one. But we just did 45 minutes of recording. It's awesome how long our videos keep getting, because at the start we predicted our videos to only be 5 to 10 minutes, and now we're making full 45-minute episodes. So I think that just shows of the growth that we have in being able to talk, and we don't really pause a lot anymore, and we don't say ah, ooh, ah, ee. So I think that's just like crazy, because we don't pause a lot anymore. I mean, maybe we do, but we definitely can get a lot of talking in, and I wish we could have another hour, because I think we could do another hour, but that's going to wrap it up for today's podcast. Hopefully you guys had a great day today. Go ASU. I'm going to be dropping a little bit of a video on making this helmet. Yes, JT the King made that. But that's going to wrap it up for today. That's Quinn over there. I'm JT. I almost just said subscribe. Goodbye.